Hello and welcome. I am Cuff Me Up, and a lot of news just dropped, as you can see, for Guild Wars 2. We have the next expansion, the name of it, Path of Fire, and it's coming September 22nd. That's just a month away. That's crazy, and that's awesome. Now, they dropped a bunch of information on the website. I just want to quickly go through it all, sort of get reactions, and kind of just talk about my opinions on stuff along with informing people of what's going on. They did a stream showing this all off, but sadly I missed it. I didn't expect it to be so early, so I was asleep at the time. Anyway, so let's just start with the trailer.
Commander, there's something I have to tell you. I went into the mists after my sword, but I found something else.
Refugees are pouring in from Alona.
If he kills an Elder Dragon, Tyria will never recover.
They cannot stand in the glory of Balthazar's light.
I will right this wrong.
I just can't believe one of the gods gave up on us.
They cannot escape my wrath. When I am done, I will be the only god.
And yeah, that's the logo for the new expansion. Now, it's pretty obvious, but we'll be fighting Balthazar over in the Crystal Desert, and a big part of this new expansion will be mounts, which is gonna be really interesting. In Heart of Thorns, a big part of that was gliding, and initially you couldn't do that at all in Corteria, but later down the line they added it because so many people wanted to glide, because gliding was fun, and a lot of people wanted to be able to glide in Corteria. So there is a chance that these mounts will be added to Corteria areas, and even possibly Heart of Thorns. We don't know anything about that, but it is a possibility. So mounts could be just like everywhere. Possibly. Now the story... Here's another video. I haven't actually seen this.
In Path of Fire, we were returning back to the Crystal Desert and to Northern Alona. We wanted to go back to a place that means a lot to players and has history for the franchise, but we wanted to look at something that is now fresh.
The last time we visited the Crystal Desert was in Guild Wars Nightfall. That was 250 years ago, so a lot has changed in that time.
There are iconic locations and landmarks that will be very recognizable for players who are familiar with the Guild Wars franchise, but at the same time, we're building the lore and the story in such a way that if you weren't there for the beginning, it's absolutely fine. We're going to help bring you along for this ride.
Well, that's good. I didn't play one.
What's going on in Alona, in an area that we have not been back to in 250 years.
Path of Fire starts with reports that Balthazar has been wreaking havoc in the desert.
Balthazar is the human god of war and fire. Last we had heard that the gods had kind of stepped away from Tyria.
Human players have been worshiping him since Guild Wars 1. But then he shows up and he's not benevolent, right? He has his own goals and he clearly doesn't care about who gets harmed in the way. Everyone in Alona...
Was that a Balthazar minion on a hoverboard?
Gods walking amongst us. Does this mean the gods are coming back?
We don't know what he hopes to achieve.
Wait a minute. Let's go back a little bit.
About who gets harmed in the way. Everyone in Alona has
have stepped away from Tyria.
Human players have been worshiping him since Guild Wars 1. But then he shows up.
There he is! Oh, I guess it's not really a hoverboard. It's like two... Okay, It's a little silly, but also kind of cool.
Same questions.
Why are the gods walking amongst us? Does this mean the gods are coming back?
We don't know what he hopes to achieve at this point, and that's what you and everyone in the region is trying to figure out.
Palawa Joko has risen into power. He has brought with him an army of undead, and he has totally warped the culture that is there. The civilians believe that he is their rightful ruler. He is their rightful king.
How is this region dealing with these crises? What different powers are taking advantage of the scenario? How are they trying to solve it? And how can you as the player try to help? It's already this volatile mix of different forces in the region.
One of the first factions you're going to encounter are the Forged, Balthazar's army.
Living armor created only to serve Balthazar. They're ruthless, and they're just dedicated to achieving his goals.
I actually really like the design of the Forged.
Vacant, the army of the ruler of the land, Palawa Joko.
Undead forces, they still have some remnants of memories. They're sentient, but they will do anything for their master.
You've also got Kralkatork and the Branded.
Mindless elemental stripped of their original self by Kralkatork's power.
And of course, the player is being asked to, come do the hero thing.
So the player needs to form a new coalition here in the desert.
Path of Fire has a great combination of old friends and new, who all have very different perspectives on Balthazar.
You've got your warriors like Ritlog, and you've got Casimir, and these people all get together to help the commander, the player. Path of Fire is going to bring 5 whole new...
I really like the look of these areas.
That are bigger than any map we've done before.
I just really like the architecture going on.
See things in a very unique way.
So when people talk about deserts, they think sand, flat stretches, but that's not actually true, right?
It's not just, one massive desert that we're exploring, it's all these different biomes coming together.
The maps go tall, the maps go wide, the maps go under and around in places. We've really decided to bring exploration and discovery back to the forefront of Guild Wars 2. There's elements that make each map unique, but we've also got elements that kind of tie all of the maps together.
We're going to have bounties now that players can hunt dangerous creatures that have been threatening the people of Alona. World events, bosses.
There's already,
With the
wait a
mounts, of
minute,
course,
there's
we're gonna
already been guild bounties for a while. I don't know why they're acting like that's something new. Unless it's like a solo bounty. Huh. Anyway, let's keep
We're
going.
going to have bounties now that players can hunt dangerous creatures that have been threatening the people of Alona. World events, bosses. With the mounts, of course, we're going to have races. Content both old and new to get players engaged.
I'm actually excited about races on mounts.
Made Guild Wars 2 unique and fantastic.
People who are playing through the main story will really enjoy both the depth and the breadth of experiences they are able to have.
The interesting characters who, if they go just a little bit further, they'll run into.
Massive maps that are fully explorable, freedom that we haven't necessarily seen as in-depth.
There better
as
be
when we
jumping
launched the
puzzles.
original Guild Wars 2.
There's some really cool surprises we're building in. I want them to find this world as exciting and interesting and complex as anything we've ever created. And I want them to feel like they have a place in it.
What the fuck was that thing? Looked like a very derpy quaggan. Anyway, so there's that. They've really talked up the world and everything and what we're gonna be seeing. I'm excited. Well, I was excited before. Now I just know more about why I'm excited. So yeah, Balthazar being the big bad. We're not gonna go through all this because I feel like this is mainly just fluff. All right, so now we can get to the mounts. They're currently showing off 4. There may be more in game. So, and as you can see, they're going to be a lot more than just a speed boost. They're probably going to have specific abilities that'll get you to unique areas. Especially this guy, the Jackal. But let's start with the Raptor. Now this, I feel, is probably going to be the least useful mount. Because the rest seem to have something going on very special. But this, Raptors are hardy and swift and surprisingly easy to train due to their intelligence. They can cross great distances in a single leap, making them the favored mount of many desert denizens. But isn't that the same thing that the rabbit would do, the Springer? Travelers are advised not to leave the city of Amon without obtaining a raptor companion. So this will probably be just the beginning mount. You get it real quick, and then we'll move on. This is the one that seems the coolest to me, the Skimmer. Skimmers are graceful creatures native to the Elone River. They live above water, breathing through large air sacs as they float above the surface. While they cannot truly fly, they can hover over short distances at a height of several norn. Wow. Making them indispensable for crossing large areas of treacherous quicksand or sulfur. So this is the coolest looking mount, in my opinion. Well, this seems like it'll be the coolest mount. I'm going to be very happy with this one. I hope we get it early. Now, the Springer. Their long ears and wiggly noses are charming, but the Springer's greatest strength is their ability to make jaw-dropping vertical leaps. Traveling merchants and couriers use them to cross sheer cliffs of the Crystal Highlands, shaving weeks off their journeys. So this is probably going to be a very useful one, mainly because I like doing jumping puzzles, and I have no doubt this is going to be used to get somewhere up high and then jump from place to place. So I'm really excited to see what they do with this huge jumping mount. Now the Jackal. This is the coolest looking one. Well, actually, no. I still think the Skimmer's like at the top, but the Jackal's pretty cool lore-wise, I should say. Jackals are elusive magical creatures formed of shifting sands and given shape by magical runes. They can dissipate into sand to teleport short distances and dash through sand portals. The Jinn of the Desolation create and tame them. Prove yourself a worthy trainer, and you may befriend one. Yeah, that seems like a fancy-ass mount. It's definitely gonna be used to get to exclusive areas because of the teleporting and the sand stuff. This probably won't be added to Corteria, this one specifically, just because it's so connected to the desert. But these other ones, I could easily see them adding. Maybe not the Springer, because then you'll have people going places where they shouldn't and breaking the map. Anyway, so those are the mounts, and their different sort of abilities. Now we're getting to the elite specializations. Each one has a video. Now, I did see the leaks, so I know, like, the weapon attached, but I don't know, like, the description or how they're gonna work. So first we have Engineer, the Hollowsmith. By harnessing the power of the sun, Hollowsmiths can create semi-solid constructs of light. They wield swords in battle and gain access to powerful light weapons in their volatile Photon Forge mode. That sounds fucking cool. Let's take a look at this.
Hollowsmiths are engineers who've learned to project the power of light into a semi-solid form. They supplement their technical genius by wielding swords. In their Photon Forge mode, they gain access to powerful new skills.
Okay, those are like derpy cactus quaggets. That's what those things are. Man, they're so fucking weird looking. Anyway, back to the hype of
by wielding swords. In their Photon Forge mode, they gain access to powerful new skills. Each skill generates heat, which can cause damage to them as the temperature rises. Their utility skills take advantage of this, gaining greater power when their heat level exceeds a threshold.
That seems so cool. I look forward to that. I'm gonna play the shit out of that. I didn't expect anything like that, but that's fucking awesome. I'm gonna play that for sure. The Hollowsmith? That is badass. Okay, the Guardian, Firebrand. These zealous lore keepers are skilled in conjuring magical fire, and they use axes and mantras in close combat. Their virtues are replaced by conjured tomes, which act as weapons to rebuke enemies and protect allies. So, for those who don't know, originally the Guardian had tomes. It was like the elite skill, or was it only the elite skill? Anyway, you could summon a book, and then it would change your skills, so, you know, your loadout was different. They changed that to virtues, I believe. Anyway, the tomes are now gone. It seems they're trying to reintroduce them through the expansion in this elite spec, which I like because I used to use tomes on my Guardian. I thought it was fun to like bring out this magical book and start throwing down a bunch of spells for a short time. So let's see what's going on with them.
Firebrands are zealous lore keepers, skilled in conjuring magical fire. They use mantras to charge spells for instant use, and wield axes to cleave their foes at short range. Their virtues are replaced by conjured tomes of lore. These tomes act as weapons with which to rebuke enemies and protect allies.
Yeah, so they're bringing back tomes. Alright. I'll try it out. I mean, I didn't like Dragon Hunter too much, so I probably will use this more than on my Guardian. I'm not super excited about it. I mean, I'm happy to use tomes again, but beyond that, you know, it's neat. Alright, Thief, the Deadeye. Mercenaries for hire, Deadeyes stalk and mark their targets and generate malice toward them, increasing damage and harassing them with harmful effects. They use rifles for precision kills. This was something that was highly speculated for Heart of Thorns. Everybody thought Thief was getting the rifle for Heart of Thorns. They ended up getting a staff, but I guess ArenaNet was listening and they're like, that's actually a good idea, let's do that next time.
The Deadeye is a thief who stalks their targets with patience and brutal accuracy. They use a rifle to snipe at long range, marking targets to harass them with harmful effects. Their mastery of shadow magic lets them cast cantrips, which gain bonuses when used against marked targets, or as their malice increases.
Interesting. That is very interesting. I don't see myself playing it because it's like a long-range class and I'm not huge on Thief, but that's cool. Alright, Warrior. I main Warrior, so. The broken weapons of the Sun Spears have become daggers in the hands of their descendants, which they use to strike at the very fabric of magic and strip it from their foes. They meditate to see past their enemy's defenses, and they use their adrenaline to counter attacks. This is really interesting. I don't think I'll take it over Berserker, but I'm definitely going to play it a bit just to, you know, get a good feel for it.
The Spellbreaker is a highly trained warrior who strikes at the very weave of magic to weaken their foes. They traditionally carry daggers, symbolizing the broken weapons of the Order of the Sun Spears. Spellbreakers use meditations to see past their enemies' defenses. They can use their adrenaline to perform a full counter, absorbing the next attack against them and damaging surrounding foes.
Like that, that's the coolest part about this, is the fact that they have a counter move. I'm wondering if it's just like, oh, they get hit once and then they activate a skill, or is the amount of damage output going to be based on how much damage you blocked during that counter time frame? We'll have to see, because we'll have to see what happens, because that could be pretty awesome and pretty strong if it's like a time window of absorbing damage and then you fling it back out. But if it isn't like that and it's just, you know, I'm blocking for a short duration and then once I get hit, that triggers the, you know, response skill, which will just be a set amount of damage, that'll be less exciting and less interesting. Alright, Mesmer. We're back into territory where I don't know much about what's going on. I just knew about the Spellbreaker ahead of time because when I got on this, I immediately went to Warrior because that's my main. Anyway. Mesmer, Mirage. Mirages move through the battle like shifting sand, cloaking themselves rather than dodging attacks. Their graceful, swirling axes and Prismatic mirrors are as deceptively beautiful as they are deadly. Ooh.
The Mirage taps into the vast magic of the Crystal Desert to move through battle like shifting sand. These Mesmers use whirling axe attacks to fight at mid and close range. Their deception skills baffle enemies and create fragile constructs, which shatter when touched, creating Mirage cloaks to avoid enemy attacks instead of dodging away from them.
So this is going to be a tanky thing for the Mesmer. I mean, Necromancer can already be really tanky with one of her with some of her skills. Like, I know that she's the go-to, or Mesmer is like the go-to tank class for raids, or at least she was for a time. So Mirage kind of furthering that by giving you the Mesmers even more invulnerability times. That's, that's interesting. I mean, I don't really play Mesmer, but that is interesting. I'm gonna try that out. Necromancer. Okay, I don't mean to immediately dismiss this, but I absolutely love Reaper and the Heart of Thorns elite spec, and I'm never taking it off. But let's take a look anyway at the Scourge. Oh, whoops, let's read. Scourges channel their life force into the desert sands to summon biddable shades that damage enemies and create shields for their allies. They use punishment skills to torment their enemies, and they wield torches to light the path to their destruction. So, is this going to be like a minion-focused thing for Necromancers? I mean, they have minions, and they have, like, trait lines for minions, but it's never been, like, the optimal thing to do. Maybe they're trying to make that more... I don't know. Let's just watch the video, and I'm going to stop. Yeah.
Necromancers who embrace the power of the Scourge have learned to infuse the sands with their life force. Scourges raise sand shades, which shield their allies and torment their foes. Their punishment skills turn enemy strengths into weaknesses, granting boons and protective barriers to those fortunate enough to be on the Scourge's side. They wield torches to burn and corrupt the ground under their enemies' feet, lighting the way to their destruction.
I like the little laughing thing there at the end there. That's interesting. Very interesting. So it's more like a totem system that you can use to buff yourself and fuck up enemies. You don't want to fuck up allies. You want to help your allies. You want to fuck up enemies. Interesting. Elementalist. Okay, they're getting the sword. Elementalist Weaver. Weavers can attune to 2 different elements simultaneously, deftly cycling them from hand to hand and combining them to powerful effect. They favor swords in battle, and they channel their strength of the elements using their stance skills. Okay. Like, I plan on making an LE that I like. I mean, I have one now, but I don't like him. And I'm not going to delete him because of your yearly gifts. But, man, that sounds really cool, actually. Like, I'm actually excited for this.
The Weaver is a specially trained Elonian elementalist who wields dual attunements. They cycle the elements from hand to hand, combining them in their central skill. This skill changes depending on their elemental attunement and choice of weapon. Their favored weapon in close combat is the sword. They take on the aspects of the elements with their stance skills, drawing strength and power from them.
That is cool. I can't wait to get my hands on that. It seems like it'll be fun. Alright, Ranger. Soul Beast. The bond between a soul beast and their pet is so strong that they can become one in spirit. By channeling their pet, they become a single entity, attacking with fang-like dagger strikes, and using the abilities of their companion and its archetype. Ooh.
The Soul Beast is a ranger with a unique bond to their animal companion, allowing them to unify with its spirit. They use daggers to fight at close range and enter stances to take on the aspects of wild creatures.
Okay.
When the Soul Beast merges with their pet, they gain its unique abilities, as well as the abilities of its archetype. They may not always fight side by side with their pets, but they're never truly alone.
That's pretty cool, actually. That seems like fun. I like that. Like, pets have always been an issue for rangers. A lot of them find them just annoying. You know, other people like them. It encourages playing passively. Bots love playing ranger, because... or lazy people, I guess, because then you can just place it somewhere and then tell your animal to just attack people. And then it'll get credit for stuff. Anyway, that seems like fun. Because then you just kind of absorb your pet for a little time and you amp up. Alright, Revenant. Revenant was the class introduced in the last expansion, so this is their first ever elite spec. Actually, no, that's not true. Glint was considered an elite spec initially, even though it came with the class. Anyway. Renegade, the legendary Char revolutionary, Kala Scorchrazor, lends the power of her warband to revenants who summon her from the mists. I have no idea who that is. The Renegades fight with a short bow, firing conjured arrows through mist portals to blindside their enemies. Ooh.
The legendary Char, Kala Scorchrazor, rose up to end the tyranny of the Flame Legion. Now, Revenants can channel her power in battle, becoming Renegades. They can draw upon Kala's spirit to summon members of her warband and boost allies with her fervor.
Ooh.
They gain the ability to wield a short bow, firing conjured arrows through the mists to blindside their enemies.
That's pretty cool, actually. I like that. Alright, and yeah, now they're talking about different armor sets you can get. I like the one of the look on the right. That looks like it's going to be the forged armor set. The left one's neat, too. A bounty example. I don't... This confuses me about, like, why are they selling bounties as a big thing? We already have guild bounties, and we already have, like, world events that anybody can do all over the world of fighting bosses and different tougher enemies. Why is bounties something to sell? Is this just an event someone has to trigger? And then, Anyway, Guild Hall. This is just going to be a quick show off of the new Guild Hall. I actually really like the look of this. Not much to say on that. I mean, guild halls, they're cool, but I just wish you could get it with like a much Well, no. Because you can get a guild hall with a much smaller group. It's just so fucking expensive to build it up. Like, it costs so much gold and resources. Like, you can capture it, but as a guild, it's gonna take a while to get anywhere with it. I really hope at some point they revamp player home instances to have the same sort of building system as the guild hall. Because I would love to customize my home instance, but I can't, or I would love to customize anything, but I don't have a guild. I'm not a guild leader, and that probably isn't going to happen anytime soon. So, yeah. It sucks that guild halls, they're cool, but only like a small part of the community can truly enjoy them to the maximum, like, potential. Anyway. So, here is the Ultimate Edition. It's the most expensive. It costs $80. The best value, save on a hoard of gems. Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire, 4,000 gems, a $50 value. Max level boost. I really don't need that. I still have my one from Heart of Thorns. And I have over 200 tomes in my bank. Spear Marshal's Presence, an heirloom passed down by Alona's greatest heroes. This item will unlock the Spear Marshal's garb outfit. Ooh, so a new outfit. Lily of Elan, permanent pass. Rub elbows with the Moon's elite. And the exclusive pass to a luxury riverboat casino, notorious for serving both nobility and criminal underground. I can't talk. It's early for me. Ignore that time. This decadent den of iniquity offers convenience and comfort to those who know it, with access to vendors. So throughout the game, they've given you many opportunities to buy passes to basically little hub areas where you have all your possible vendors, crafting stations, all of that, to just, run around, quickly get your stuff done, and then you can head back to where you were. And this way you can get there without, spending money on a teleport. Additional character slot. I could use that. I mean, I have 3 I don't use, but I'm going to use up one of them to make my new Ellie. So, that'd be nice. An additional character slot to use with your game account. And then an identity repair kit. Use this kit to give your character a brand new look and name to go with it. This includes the total makeover kit and 1 name change contract, so you can revamp yourself if you want to go with the Ultimate Edition. Pre-purchase and receive the miniature Balthazar, the Elonian Envoy title, and a Sunspear weapon of your choice. Okay. I'm probably going to go with this. I mean, I know I probably shouldn't, but I love Guild Wars 2, and I feel like it's worth it. Anyway, Deluxe Edition. This is $55. Everything you need to travel in luxury and style. So you get the game, the boost, the outfit, the pass, character slot, and identity repair kit. So this just gives you the extra gems. Okay, maybe I won't go for Ultimate and just go for Deluxe. I don't need gems. And then we have Standard. $30 is to get this just as is. Begin your journey to ancient lands shrouded in mystery. This is a lot better than Heart of Thorns, where the base price was like $50. People were really mad about that. $30, it sounds much more reasonable. And that just gives you the game max level boost. And then Deluxe, really amps you up to the outfit, the pass, the character slot, the identity repair kit. And then Ultimate just gives you 4,000 gems on top of it. I'm probably gonna go Deluxe, but I mean, gems. I'm such a sucker for this game. God damn it! Ooh, new wallpapers. I always download these. Like, that is all my desktop ever uses is Guild Wars 2 wallpapers. That is a good one. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much all the details for the Path of Fire expansion. I'm so excited it's coming out in just a month. Like, I was hoping it'd be a shorter duration than with Heart of Thorns. Like, Heart of Thorns, it was like, hey, it's coming. 6 months later. With this, it's just like, oh yeah, it's coming pretty much next month. I mean, it's near the end of next month, and the episode released last month because it's the 1st of August, but come on, this is still cool. Anyway, yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all I have to say. Thanks for watching. I'm super excited. I hope you enjoyed my reactions, my thoughts, and reading this information. And yeah, I will see you all next time.